Good morning, Orlando. I'm back. Walk and talk with me and the minister. So I'll get going this morning. Obviously, as everyone can tell, I'm selling things online now. So the masks are very popular. They seem to be right now my fastest growing product that's out there. Sold out of the first allotment of them, which is super cool. So I want to thank everybody for that, because you're really helping me out, not a big corporation. Me and my mom, my dog, Minnie. It's keeping us going so we don't end up being a statistic on the street. So I appreciate that. I want to thank everybody. And for all you don't know, today's my birthday. And I always used to joke around with everybody and say that I didn't think I'd make it past 30, so I'm 45. It's 15 years past 30, so that's a win. So really, what's gone on with me? Went back to school. Actually, state of Florida. Come on, man. Paid for my master's degree, Minnie. And I completed my master's. I tested out of 46 classes, so pretty happy about that. And now I'm in the process of learning internet marketing. I'm going through that, picking up followers, catching leads, just doing my thing. That's really it. It's a different career. I'm happy to be out of, I should say, doing everything as far as building goes. What I learned from especially the past 7 years, and I can see from other successful shops that you need a good team. You can have one person that knows how to do everything, but ultimately one person can't do everything. So that's really it. There's you can only physically do so much before your body just gives out. I talk with that about the young guys. My brother calls it your prime working years. So utilize them as best as you can and stay learning stuff, because eventually you're physically not going to be able to keep up the pace that you were when obviously you were, in your 20s and 30s. You just can't. You physically can't. As much as we'd like to believe we can, no, we can't. Unless you want to be, eating pain medication and your entire life and, live a very short-term lifespan, if you will. So that's really, really it. That's really all what I have going on. It's not a lot to sit here and talk about. I can talk about a lot of products I'm selling. You guys, I know Biketoberfest is coming up. Hit me up. I've acquired a lot of vendors and local suppliers of good stuff. I keep digging every day. Handlebars, parts. If some of you guys also know where there's some motorcycles that people want to sell, let me know. Hit me up. Can supply some if it's with the numbers work. You never know, I may pick it up. I'm always looking to buy and sell things and flip things, so keep your ears and your eyes open for me. You guys are out there on the streets, you know, if you see something, send it to me. Pop a picture and send it to me. Some information, I'll take a glance at it. Minnie's on a mission. She sees another dog. Morning, guys. So everyone knows we got some hurricanes brewing out there. So get your house prepared. Get some water up in there. Everyone get some gasoline. Got some generators. You know, it's the peak time of hurricane season. And you do live if you're in Florida, stop pulling. You know, she sees another dog and she wants to hurt it. She just wants to play. So that's really what I've been up to the last couple months. I got to go tomorrow. Morning. I got to go tomorrow. That's how it works. I have to go tomorrow and to a big job fair and sit there and see what's happening. This kind of was my deal of getting my school paid for. So, which, hey, I will say this, if the right opportunity comes along, I will take it. There is one that I am actually interested in. It's a pretty good gig. It's working for the Orlando Magic, which I think would be a lot of fun. So that one's has definitely piqued my interest. I've conversated back and forth with the manager. That's really it, because, you know, I think one of the things he liked, I'm pretty open to going out in the public. I don't have a problem going out in public talking to people. I actually enjoy it. You know, I strike up a lot of conversations with people, and they tell me a lot of things. So, and I listen. Good listener. You know, and I like being around people. You know, so that's really what's happening. Right now, like I said, I'm slinging. You know, selling parts. I got a line where we really don't make nothing no more. Everything comes out of China. There's nothing made in the U.S. anymore. Zero. Nada. Hey, Carrie, what's up, man? Good morning. So, I'll recap. Let you know what's happening with me, man. I got my master's degree. State of Florida covered it. I'm working on doing my own thing, obviously. It's what's keeping me going right now. And, you know, people buying stuff off me, it's really helpful. It's what pays my bills, so I appreciate that. I've got located a lot of parts for Harleys and different bikes. Everything's made in China. Whew, everything. You can't imagine. Located a lot of parts that are made overseas. You know, I should have done that when I had EEC, because there was no way I could compete with the Chinese manufacturers. Really, there was no way. Their prices on what they can build stuff for, and from front to back, is a quarter of the cost of what I was spending here. And I'll just give you a thing. Each bar I was building here was costing me, just alone to have it powder coated, $40. That didn't include my time in machining, bending the bars, or anything. Material costs or anything. Labor costs, nothing. When you added in the labor costs of what it cost me with a person to bend it, you know, in an average time, and TIG welding it, the numbers were so out of reach. to even compete in that market. And that's a real killer for a lot of companies. I have a friend of mine, got me talking now, that has a prosthetics company in California. Really nice guy, 5-man crew. They do a lot of machining and lathing, and they did everything, modeling, all in-house. And they did well. They went on Indigo. They got some crowdfunding. Well, a Chinese company, and I'll leave it blank, their name, because I've learned the power of lawyers, came in and said, look, you have obviously a great product that can sell, make a lot of money. His production costs are really high. So he's having a ton. They said, we will manufacture your prosthetics overseas in China so you can shut down your factory here. Here's the catch. They want full disclosure on everything, on all the R&D development. And for him to stay viable, he has to do it because he can't compete. He just can't compete. So when people say, and I'm not getting anything, that's called intellectual property we're losing. And that's how they slowly have taken over the United States, especially Silicon Valley and where we all make stuff. So, and then they can manufacture it and do what's called private labeling. And what that is they make one product and basically it costs you for 35 cents. Everyone doesn't understand. All these products are made by the same manufacturer. They just change the labeling. So you can change the labeling on it for 35 cents. You know, like different companies, like motorcycle companies say, well, the bars all look the same or this looks the same. They're the same. They're just changing the labels on it. And that's called private labeling. So that's the real deal, Holyfield. Yeah, how you doing, man? That's the real deal, Holyfield, behind kind of what's going on when you talk about intellectual property. And a lot of these companies, you know, they can't compete with that type of thing. Like Microsoft, it started out here in the U.S. It was made in the garage here in the United States of America. It was manufactured in China. Then you've seen all the off brands come off it. It all came off of Microsoft. So that's the balance, you know, between the two. And as I started digging into it, because, you know, I buy a lot of products and there's not a whole lot here done in the States. Yeah, there's some stuff, but not what you can compete with out of China, not the level, you know. So that's really the gist behind it all. Thank you. And where we're at, you know, a lot of these companies, that's how they're making their monstrous amounts of money. And it's kind of trained us a little bit, you know. But enough on that. Kind of see, I carry in some infusers, sold some of them. Some of you like that with the oil, everything. I have it all on my website, investorestates.com. Check it out. I mean, you know, give me some feedback. Good, bad, or indifferent. You know, I know some of you are going to crunch me on numbers. I get it. You know, I do the best I can. And like I said, just remember, you know, you're helping the little guy. I'm not Walmart, you know. I'm not Amazon, you know. So, kind of like I went to this big business meeting. He said, you know, that's how they have taken over, is they've just crushed the little people with pricing. And it's true. It's tough to compete with the big corps, you know, that are buying in such high volume. So it's up to you guys if you're going to help out the fellow Americans or you're going to help out the Chinese. Yeah. So that's kind of it. Hey Shane, how are you? I was kind of touching on a little bit about the currencies I buy and sell, and do a lot of purchasing over in China. And I was kind of telling a story. I have a friend of mine that owns a prosthetics company in California, and which is interesting. He has a 5-man team. They do a lot of the stuff in-house, and his production costs are really high, trying to keep up. And then, I did a lot of manufacturing here in the U.S., and what really killed me was the Chinese market. I can't compete. And what I mean is, I was building handlebars at one time. My cost on it just to get them powder coated were $40. And I'll give you the heads up. There's people out there selling a lot of different labels. They do what's called private labeling. All this stuff is made in one manufacturer, and they don't have people. A lot of this stuff is all computerized automation, laser welding, everything. So they just go boom, 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 knock them out. The average cost of some of these, and I'll just be thinking of these Horns handlebars that you see on these baggers coming out of China, is $50. That's done, welded up, delivered. Now you have to pay shipping costs to get them across the ocean, which is not as much as everyone would like to believe. It's not crazy. But what they do is they do private labeling on them. So for 35 cents, you can change all the labeling on the product to whatever you want. And that's kind of how they have flooded the market. Like my buddy, his business, a Chinese company, manufacturing company, and I'll leave it blank. Came to him and said, "You have a great product." So, how you doing? So he said, "Cool." He said, "Look, we can manufacture this overseas in China for a whole lot less. You don't need your employees anymore, so you can shut down that. We'll fund it, but we want X amount of the company, and we want to see your plans of how you built it." So what they do is they come into the company, move the company over to China. They can make his brand with his name on it, and then make all the knockoffs with everyone else's name. And they took over the intellectual property, which meaning is all the R&D behind it. And that's what they're doing. And that's what they've done. I mean, Microsoft, and I always bring it up, Microsoft did it. They, let's be honest, he made the stuff in his garage in the U.S. And he went overseas, and a lot of people have done it. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, you see the knockoffs flying. That's the game. That's how it works. So when I say to people, when I was building stuff, people always would show me pictures of stuff made in China and say, "Well, you can't compete with that." You're right. It's very hard. 100% correct. But ultimately, what you're doing is you're taking out the people in your own town. And what I mean is that when you take out a section of let's say a small business in America, and you lose that 5 employees get lost, now you're looking at it and saying, well, it's just that 5 jobs that are lost. Wrong. You're looking at it now, you're losing 5 jobs plus the money that flowed into other businesses. Because them 5 people are no longer going to be spending money at McDonald's, at all the other stores. So that has caused the economic collapse, what you see going on. And it's just now rampant. I mean, you see it everywhere throughout here. I mean, you see stores. I think I read in a business forum that in 2020, by 22 national retailers are going fully automated. That's a lot of people losing work. You see it in Home Depot, you see it in mall, you see it everywhere. That's a lot of people going to be out of jobs. Postal service is closing down. That wasn't mortgage brokers, because online, mortgaging, them are closing down. People are losing their jobs there. So it was very, very interesting, because I said I got my master's degree when I, left where I was at in the state of Florida, picked it up, and I got it in business and marketing. So I got invited to some of these business meetings, and everything what they all talk about now, and that's all you see everywhere, is buying and flipping, because that's all what's left. They want, you hear, it's time to, it's the time of the entrepreneur. But yeah, what else are you gonna do? Car sales, a lot of them are done predominantly. A buddy of mine that works at a car dealership, I know guys that buy cars online all the time. They just go there and pick them up. So it's an interesting thing. And what I tell people is, when you buy this stuff from China or if you see someone selling a small business, you really need to stand behind it. Because if you don't, realistically, you're hurting your community. In essence, and that's the truth. And look, we're all guilty of it. I mean, there's no doubt. But it's the truth, because you're putting these small guys, and then the trickle down, and the true trickle down is it hurts the community that you're in, because they're not able to. I mean, if you have a small business and you buy from small businesses in America, even if they're buying, which most of them are forced to buy stuff out of China anyhow, because everything's made there. But at least they will put people back to work, and you're helping that community and a small business. It's something for all you really to think about. It's the real deal Holyfield, of what's happening here in the U.S. And we see it. I mean, I know people talk about the economy is booming. No, it's not. It's between 25 and 26, low 25s. And it was at 28 when he gave the Omni bill, and then it dropped like a crash and burn. So, and I know people say the unemployment rate, and I've often said this: all they talk about is the unemployment rate, that it's the lowest it's been for Latinos, blacks, and this thing. What's it at for white people? Where's it at? How come no one asks about that? Ever. I asked it. I did. I was like, well, where's it at? Because I know one thing. You're on unemployment. You get it for 3 months. Whether you find a job or you don't find a job, you're off. You're on your own. And some people say, well, that's a good thing. Yeah, it could be. I agree. And maybe it puts a fire in their butt to go out and get a job. But you have a lot of people out there that went to school and I met a lot of them, big time college degrees. Morning. Big time college degrees and everything else, and can't find a job. And then I see people, this, that, I said this one time and it really pissed somebody off. I said, most Americans are levied between mortgage payments, car payments, credit card payments. They said now the average American has $8,000 worth of credit card debt. So if one of these people in the family lose their job, it's catastrophic. I mean, and a lot of these kids, can't even afford to buy houses. A lot of the houses, I have a buddy of mine's real estate, it's individual investment groups overseas that are buying up these areas. Russians, to be exact. So it's something for everyone to think about. And I know I give you guys always a lot of information, but it's kind of what I do. You know, I talk to people and get it rolling. Let's come around this way. Try not to get run over. Yeah. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Getting some things done today?
I hope.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Window.
Hurricane. We got some hurricanes out there right now.
Yeah. Man, the shutters are through the roof. I guess they're dropping their prices in the state of Florida for hurricane shutters.
Yeah?
Oh, we're sending people to classes on how to do it. There's so many people wanting hurricane shutters right now.
Well, that's good.
Man, I can't even get off the freaking road here.
That's good, man. Get them busy. Have a good one, man. People want the hurricane shutters. It's good. It's a good little surge then. Hit the economy. Often said, catastrophic storms are good for business. The shut-up business. Morning. Make that money when you can. There you go. I'll go sell some shutters today. There is 4 storms out there brewing. Get some damage rolling out here. Pick up the economy for a little bit. Blow through, get some damaged cars. Good for the insurance business, right? So, that's really it, you know? That's what's happening, you know? You see a lot. You know? A lot of things are definitely changing and swinging each different way. But again, you know, check out my website, Investors Estates, if you guys see some stuff for sale or, you know, anything out there, front it on my way. If you guys see some gigs that I might be interested in, you know, forward it my way. Look out for a guy. You know, that's my spew today. You know, because one thing that everyone can always say about Eric, I looked out for a lot of people. You know, it's kind of how it was built. So, you all have a great day. Be safe and take care.